Abram versus SEO Drip. SEO Drip, the LCQ winner, coming into the MCS playoffs, one of the hottest Madden players in the community. He's been playing lights out ball, ended up defeating Drini, who actually defeated Henry, and Drip also defeated Velas Jones in LCQ. So big time matchup here. He is the 14 seed. Abram the 3 seed. Abram has just been really good pretty much all year long, and so wanted to dive into this game here. Little pre-game. Let's go ahead and just actually jump ahead, and we will get into this game. Let's see how far. I guess we gotta go a little bit more ahead than I thought. I think there was a disconnect actually. So let's here we go. Yep, I think they disconnected right out of the gate, so we're just going to jump right up to here and go ahead and get into this. Now, Abram and David T are pretty good friends, pretty good lab partners. We saw David T's performance. That video is on the channel. If you haven't seen it, you can just check it out on the channel. They're both running Saints. So Abram, pretty much up to this point in the year, has been in Chargers, bunch strong offset, running a lot of flood. Abram switching to Saints after the new playbook update, and then Drip is going to be in Eagles. Now, as far as defensively, Drip is going to be in the dollar, and then Abram is going to be in that 3-3-5 odd, but he's going to run it a little bit differently than David T does. One of the formations that you're going to see a lot is this kind of like bunch, I don't know if that's bunch flex or bunch nasty, bunch spread nasty. I'm not sure exactly what formation that is, but this is the doubles flex close. This is the main formation. This has the play action blocking, which is really good for blocking the dollar loop blitz. And it also has PA snag, which is a stock short post that you can't hot route. A lot of Abrams plays are going to be around this PA snag. Here we see kind of a standard play using this seam streak a lot as a clear out on that left side, and going to take away this this running back. So one of the things that I wanted to just quickly touch on is kind of some post switch stick era route combinations, and that is really having these kind of seam streaks. Not only are they good to throw off rip, but they're also good to prevent what most people want to do is most people want to switch stick onto one of these quarter zones. And so this is going to kind of prevent that. And you're not going to really be able to switch stick onto the inside quarters, which is one of the hallmarks of defense this year. And then we get kind of a standard, really nice route combo this year, which is a 5-yard speed out. Hard flats are going to struggle to be able to get out here and defend it. And then if it's a cover 2, this corner route can get over the top for a big play. And then we also have a route on the play that pretty much has to be user defended, which is that short post. So just a high-level route combo that does attack a lot of the area on the field. And you're going to see right here, so you see this is that hard flat. Notice Drip clicks on. Look at Abram able to just throw this out of the sideline and just be able to take some easy yardage early. So can kind of just a really high level play, really high level route combination that if you're running some of these formations, you might want to check into some of these plays. So here, Abram's going to audible over to Stack Y Flex. Stack Y Flex, a formation we really haven't seen much since Madden 23, but it is in the Saints playbook, and he has a streak, a speed out, and then kind of honestly just a couple high lows and able to hit a comeback route, which you really never see. And yeah, Abram's moving on his first drive. So one of the core defensive philosophies in Madden 25 is to basically attempt to make your opponent work, right? Make them work up and down the field. And then also real quick, I did want to highlight this combination here. This is something that I've been trying to talk a little bit about on the channel, but it's the idea of like an out route or a flat route and then a backside little zig. And what's going to basically happen is this out route is going to pull a flat defender out here, having like a seam streak or a post or a drag typically is going to pull the yellow zones inside, and it's going to allow this kind of space to be able to hit the zig really kind of like right in this little box area of the field, kind of right in here. So we'll see what he ends up doing on this. So you see, look, the out route. Now on this play, Drip does adjust to it. He has a little vert hook here, but look at that out route. You could technically throw this. Abram is going to try to throw it and does get a KO, but it was technically open. You can actually make that throw pretty consistently this year. And that is one of the combos of the year. That has been one of the main concepts that you see pretty much every offense has in it is this idea of these zig routes, but then also you're going to see Abram's going to go to a hidden formation within the tight Y off. And this is something that they added in the update to this playbook, kind of as like a bunch. It practically is going to be like a bunch formation over there. And then it just has some really, really, really nice plays within it. So, and if you guys want to get my breakdown of the Saints book, it is in our school community. I actually broke that down post-patch when they updated it with some of the new formations and plays, kind of deep dove into the Saints playbook. So if you guys want to check that out, everything's in our school community. That link will be down below. Here we see here, nice little auto motion play. Just a nice combo flat, has that nice pull route there. Got a little pressure from Drip. And this is exactly how Drip wanted the first drive to go. Abram had to constantly take his check down, constantly just kind of work up that field. And then in the red zone, Drip was able to tighten up. If Drip is able to continue to play defense like this, he is going to have a significant advantage in this game. Basically, that was literally the entire philosophy of Dollar on display on that first drive. That idea that you're going to play a bend but don't break defense. You're going to force them to really just take what you give them all the way up and down the field. And then in the red zone, you're often able to tighten up. So kind of the hallmark of what you want to do defensively from Drip, honestly. Because also if Abram makes a mistake, then you have a chance for a turnover. Here we go, 3-5 odd. Now, real quick, I wanted to address this. So David T and Abram are both running this 3-5 odd. And if you look at this formation, they're coming out basically, I'm not 100% sure, but I'm almost positive they're coming out in hot blitz 3, which is going to have this guy here. Now, the other thing that's kind of worth noting is they're in a show blitz look that really puts these safeties in basically perfect alignment. You don't want the safeties at 5-yard depth. You don't really want them at 15-yard depth. You really want them about 8 to 10 yards off the ball, which is what you get with the stock show blitz alignment of 3-5 odd. The other thing, though, that I wanted to mention is when David T was running this defense, he was basically shifting his line over to this section, and he was kind of looping through this gap with a user rush and disengage, kind of like 6-1. Abram is not shifting his line outside. Abram is giving us a pinch D-line look, which is going to feature more of an edge pressure approach from both of the slot corner or linebacker. So just wanted to quickly point that out because it is a big difference in terms of how Abram runs the defense versus how David T runs the defense. And you're going to see a significant result in terms of the pressure that Abram is able to apply. The other thing about this formation coming in is I believe that the two best offenses in the game really are the same offense, kind of. It's the doubles flex close from Saints, which is what Abram was running. And then it's this normal Y-off close from the Eagles playbook, which is what SEO Drip is running. The reason I like the Eagles playbook is because you get a short post over here, you get a short post over here. So you can kind of build route combos. And really, you could pretty much just stay in this formation. You have a lot of other good formations. But anyway, so Drip is in Eagles. So real quick, first play, he's going to go to a jet touch pass. So another good feature of this Eagles playbook is, as you see, you could just get a free little gadget play. He's able to get, I mean, what was that? 20, almost 40 yards in the first play, right? So you see here, Abram sending 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then the coverage shell from Abram, pretty much what we've come to expect, cover 4, right? Pretty much switch stick in a quarter. This guy gets kind of, I don't know what happened there for sure. I think Abram just bumped him. And Drip, if he was on a streak, that's a touchdown. But Drip is going to take this little drag. Another thing I wanted to say is I've been talking about this for a long time, and you're going to see this come up in this Madden Bowl. This idea of a 15 to 20 yard speed out and a 15 to 20 yard deep in route. That 10 to 20, 15, 20 yard depth is something you're going to see again and again and again throughout these games that people are going to be trying to attack. Here we're going to see a trips tight end combo at a PA slot corner. Pretty bagged, honestly. He's able to hit the drag underneath. It's kind of a tight window. But the other thing that Drip is going to do a lot of within his formation, within his offense, you're going to see a lot of play action. A lot of these guys, a lot of the offensive meta is really centered around play action because play action gives you better blocking on your passing play. So you see here's PA slot corner, pretty much stock. and just shows how powerful offense is in this game. Stock plays are just unguardable. So that brings up a 2nd and 3. Abram's not in a terrible position. Abram's kind of hoping here for a red zone stop, kind of like what Drip got. Drip runs this tight end to the wide side out of normal off close. Probably going to be setting up either Y sail or PA snag. Actually going to go back to that jet touch pass. Abram this time ready for it. Shoots it in the backfield for a loss of, I think that was 11-yard loss right there, which is crazy. And we're going to see PA snag from SEO Drip. Take a look at the pressure. If I'm Abram, you probably want to send 5 here. He sends that slot corner. Not able to get the pressure you would really want there. One little thing I want to point out about this is typically when you send this slot corner, you're noticing here he's containing on this backside. So he's getting a really nice rush. He almost actually got this thing to come around off the edge there. And then just a nice read by SEO Drip. Put him in a 4th and 6. And this is kind of a decision here a little bit, right? Because if you get stopped here, not ideal. So he is going to take this down to the quarter. But also, because Abram only got 3, it's a significant advantage for Drip to be able to go for this and try to get 7 on this drive. So you're going to go to motion angle wheel, hit that running back streak. He's hit that running back streak a lot, ends up getting a touchdown. And honestly, I just feel like Abram just did not play great. I don't know if he just didn't play great defense. So don't see really hardly any pressure there. And Abram is trying to set up kind of that 4-man edge rush pressure off of this defense. One of the underrated parts of 3-3-5 odd, just as a defensive concept, is because you're really centering around edge pressure, you're going to do a decent job of keeping the quarterback in the pocket. The defense as a whole is going to force you to have to win from the pocket generally because you're able to send the edge pressure so much. But that being said, you see there, another thing that's really interesting about 3-5 odd is it mostly going to be in a cover 4 shell. It's hard to play cover 2 out of 3-5 odd in this game because you really have to have inside quarters, and those cloud flats can just get absolutely destroyed. So anyway, here's another kind of one of those little combos here. Abram goes this corner route. He goes to this a lot throughout this game, and this corner route, for whatever reason, it looks wide open every single time. I don't know what happened in this game, but he just could not complete this pass. It's open, the space, you can see it. But for whatever reason, Abram is not able to complete it consistently throughout this game. So Abram also has that PA snag play with that short post. You're going to see a lot of motion out the running back. One of the things that this formation really allows is, as you see, Abram actually gets screamed at a dollar there on a play action play, which is crazy. One of the things that this formation really, really allows for is just the capability to be able to motion that running back out wide and get some really nice space. You see how far these guys are a little bit more spread out than they would be out of Eagles. And there's exactly that combo again. So this time, take a look at this combo. This is actually cool. We have a tight end streak. We have a hot routed zig, and then we have a 10 to 15 yard speed out. And then on the backside here, you have really the same basic thing, zig, speed out, right? The only thing you need here is a seam streak or post him at about that depth. But basically, watch what happens. See how this speed out, look at this speed out on both sides, the cloud flat or the hard flat, whatever, they're fading out here, right? He's cover 4ing. And so when it's a cover 4 shell, you only have one player really in the middle of the field. And so you see here, look at this little box that you're just constantly seeing both opponents just pepper each other in. That is why the out route zig combo or the wheel running back streak combo, it's meant to attack kind of that seam area, that underneath seam area of the field. And Abram does a really good job of hitting it there. Little tight end spot. There you see the speed out. What's nice about the speed out is they're very difficult to switch stick. And when you switch stick to a speed out, you kind of put yourself out of position for the rest of the play. So that's part of why you see a lot more speed out. Another thing that speed outs allow you to do is because of the way they run, especially within the hash marks, the way the hash marks work in this game. If you throw a wide side speed out, so in this case, it would be like a motion running back out, put him out there and put him on a speed out. It's really hard for the flat defender to be able to get to it. Here out of that hidden formation, you're going to see actually just crazy play Okay, so this is something that I did want to address. So what happens here is this is a hidden formation, and he's going to basically run kind of smash return, if you will. This has a little bit of a unique fade here to the left. What he does for his protection is he's taking the running back and he's IDing. I want to say this guy. So if you watch what the running back does at the snap of the ball, watch the running back, see how he takes a significant step over here, and that's massive movement is going to hit. He's going to hit the ball, which you really don't see a lot, by the way. But for whatever reason here, we see it, and it causes a fumble. And Abram is very fortunate that his lineman is able to fall on it. As you see, kind of a crazy play, something I really haven't seen yet in this game. But it does have to do with the pass protection that Abram set up by IDing that linebacker, which he's going to do it again here. See how that running back crosses the field? That is, I guess, the risk, right? But here he goes pretty much back to the same play and is able to hit it. Yeah, exactly the same play there. Do you see kind of like a smash return type setup? All right, so that's going to bring up a first down and 10, about 3:25 left in the first half. And really this game has, I mean, basically we've seen 2 possessions. You're going to have, Abram really needs 7 here. If he doesn't get 7, you have to remember that Drip is going to get the ball out of half. So him not getting 7 is actually a big, big deal. Nice switch stick there. Hits the streak late. And this is what we see. This is what we see a lot. So watch what Drip does. So he's going to switch onto this to take this away, right? He's going to recognize, he knows the play is PA snag. What's interesting is he switches, watch this, he's going to switch to this quarter, which is fine. But what I would love to see him do is immediately switch here and rob this. Because what happens is he just bites on this and he's basically just going for this post. It does leave a touchdown, but Abram sees it just a little bit too late. And notice what Drip does. He switch sticks onto the outside quarter and just runs him at that streak, which is also a really high level switch. And he actually used that same switch stick in LCQ, that same exact method on that pretty much same exact route combination to be able to take away one of the, to be able to bag Drini on some important downs in the LCQ as well, which we do have a film room on that on the channel. If you haven't checked out those, would encourage you. I try to do film rooms on pretty much every, high level MCS game because I think there's just so many things that you can learn from these guys. And so, anywho, here kind of a dig return type combo, but gets that tight end in. Again, that was that 15-yard, right? That 15-yard and in route, really high, really high caliber route, able to just be able to beat a lot of different coverages. Here you're going to see PA snag, motion out running back on a streak. So it looks like he's anticipating cover 2 to the right side. He's now going to smoke screen. Watch this smoke screen hold this flat. And he ends up checking down to that. Just didn't really have anything and was getting some pressure there. And again, this is kind of just a big disadvantage for Abram, honestly, because the way this half is kind of shaping up, he's not going to be able to clock this. And he pretty much has to score 7. But then Drip's going to be able to go down, kick a field goal, really probably have just a lot of opportunity. Drip has basically full control of the game. And again, one of the big things that I want to highlight about the way that Drip plays defense, why I think he actually is here, is really truly because of how he plays defense. He really plays defense in a way that makes it very difficult to play offense. Abram, I think, is widely considered to be a top 5 offensive player in the game this year and has been probably last year as well. Very good offensive player, right? Was really one of the guys that was, I think, super early on Chargers, being kind of one of the top books. Here you see this was that smash return combo. Look what he does here on the left side. He has a flat, and then he has this return route. And again, watch, he's going to throw this. Look, right in that little square you see there. Drip recognizes it, has to go user it, but he also has this kind of glitchy fade route. It's not a seam streak, so this quarter is not going to be able to take it away. And so the flat zone is having to roll down to this tight end. And so you kind of isolated that defender, and it's just a wide open read. It's a really, really nice route combination down here in the red zone. But the thing that I was saying about Abram is one of the best offensive players in the world, but you're seeing Drip, just the way this game is going, you're seeing what makes Drip so good this year, why Drip was good against Drini, why Drip was good against Velas, is because his style of defense is honestly fairly conservative. In the film room that I did against Drini, it was pretty much 90% of the game in that cover 4 hard flat shell, basically just trying to switch stick out of it. What I think makes that a really, really good system for defense in this game and makes it kind of just difficult is because you're going to force them to score inside the red zone every single time. That is difficult in this year's game. So, and that's really difficult almost every single year, but especially this year. So Drip just doesn't give up a lot of big plays, right? He just doesn't. And so you have to work up and down the field. So this first half, honestly, if you're in Drip shoes, got to be feeling good. I love seeing him use Baker Mayfield, by the way. I think this is one of the most underrated decisions is him using Baker Mayfield because Baker Mayfield has the best release in the game. In my opinion, I don't even think it's close. Baker Mayfield has the best release in the game. A lot of the guys in this tournament are using RG3 or they're using Michael Vick due to the Eagles theme team being really good. So the reason that that's relevant is because Drip is sacrificing a little bit of mobility. Baker still can run a little bit, but he's not super good at it. But he gets the best release in the game. So kind of just wanted to highlight that because I think he might be the only one that I've seen with Baker. Don't love that route combo. Abram's actually almost able to get him and didn't love what he was trying to do there. I think Drip personally is just I just think he plays a little better defensively. There were some turnovers he had against Drini that were kind of like, what, kind of why, right? But at times I think just watching Drip a lot over the last couple of days, I just feel like he makes offense a little harder sometimes. But there he mixes in that jet touch pass, nice play, and then now you've got him in a 2nd and 14. So loves this running back streak out of the backfield. This is just one of those plays that I don't really know why it gets called as much because I don't really see it. I call it personally as well. I feel like it's always struggling to get open. I think the tight end post here might be a touchdown. He's going to audible out of it. See how you got a little bit of indecision. I'm just not sure. A lot of change-ups here. That's kind of one of the little things here, but he's going to throw that speed out. Again, there's that 10 to 15 yard depth for a speed out. Really, really good in this year's game and really just able to attack a variety of coverages. So love to see that route right there. Here, Drip's going to be setting up trips tight end flex. One of the cool parts about Eagles playbook is you have trips tight end flex, you have bunch X nasty, and then you, of course, have the normal Y off close. 3rd and inches, kind of a gotta have it down. You really, especially this key of a situation, you really want to make sure you get this here. So he's going to go to that 5 wide setup. He's got this sail. Watch this route on the right side. This is a really nice play design. And this was probably one of my favorite plays that Drip ran all game. If you take a look at this, this is out of Y sail. And again, this is there's that 15-yard in route. Really love that. Really love where that attacks. But what you have here, it's a real simple read. We have a tight end streak, and we have this little fade. And then this is kind of recreating the bunch strong flood, which I believe Abram was one of the first people running that this year. He was actually running that all the way back in Madden in the Ultimate Kickoff tournament. It might have even been in the Ultimate Classic as well. But anyways, what you're going to see here is this speed out. So what this speed out is going to do is it's going to take this flat zone. Let's say either one of these guys are on a flat. They're going to immediately get pulled to the right side. What that does, and then the beauty of this is this tight end streak is going to pull this quarterback. And basically, there's going to be an absolute void right here where you can throw this. If the user goes here, then typically you can check down right over this middle of the field. So I just feel like what's really nice about this specific play is this play attacks a lot of space on the field and is very difficult to user. And you're going to see here post-snap, right? Take a look at this. The user's over here. The flat zone gets pulled out. You're getting some pressure here on a send 5. The tight end is going to pull this quarter. And so watch how this kind of plays out. See, even the outside quarter gets pulled really well by this route, right? So you see you've got 2-on-1 here to the right, and then there's this massive void to be able to throw circle, and he is able to do that, and he's able to just simply possession catch it in front of the KOs. KOs don't touch him, and it's just an easy read, really high-level read from SEO Drip, and I thought one of the better plays he'd ran all game long because I just thought it was really good spacing. Don't see this setup a ton from motion post, but he does have That tight end there. Abram kind of got off the switch stick a little early, but was trying to take away that underneath drag. Drip's able to hit it. One of the things, though, here, I wanted to highlight this. So you see here, 14 seconds. One of the things we didn't really talk about is Drip does not have any timeouts. As you see down here, he doesn't have any timeouts. So this is another little factor in terms of how this is going to go. He can't really stop this clock. He's going to have to snap the ball. Abram makes a decision here that I don't know if I love, because I will say in this game, quick snapping is definitely a thing. So what Abram did allow to happen is he allowed the runoff to happen, and then he called timeout about when Drip was going to snap the ball. I don't hate that timeout. He got kind of crucified for that on the broadcast. It's not a terrible decision by Abram to call a timeout right there, but I could see it being like good and bad. I think Abram just didn't like the defense he had called, and so I think he ends up, calling the timeout there. So that being said, Drip's going to go to a verticals 5-out combo, really just a throwaway, and then he is going to get time for one more play. That would be, to me, the weakness of Abram calling that timeout. I think if Drip was actually setting up a little bit more of a play, then by him calling that timeout, he kind of gave him 2 plays at the end zones, 2 shots at the end zone. So I think that's the big issue with it. So had Abram waited just a couple more seconds, he might have been in better shape. But anyways, Drip is going to go to this red zone combo. This is something that you're starting to see a little bit more. It's a post that's stemmed all the way down. That's going to pull this outside quarter or outside third or cloud flat. It's going to pull it inside. And then you either get a wheel, or what we've seen lately is you're getting this hitch, because this hitch is on the numbers. And then this little out route that's stemmed. Really what we're trying to do is hit this out route here. He's going to try to roll, and then this is just something we have on the backside action. So kind of an interesting combo here, but something you see. So you see, watch this right here. See how this deep zone is going to take a step inside, and then watch here. See how he's going to sit here. So now Drip has exactly what he wants, but look at this. The tight end and look at this right here. 3 receivers are all stuck in quicksand. They can't move. So Drip's rolling out. It gives Abram time to switch over here and take this away. At this point, if you're Drip, he's probably thinking like 1 second, right? I think he just ran out of time. And it honestly ends up working out for Abram. And he's able to get the stop. It's a huge stop in this game. And it really honestly kind of saved the game, in my opinion, for Abram, just because even if Drip gets 3 on that drive, it really changes the dynamic of everything with Drip getting the ball to start the second half. So huge stop from Abram in that 2-minute situation. Kind of some mistakes by both sides, but ultimately 10-7 at halftime with Abram on top. All right, boys, second half of action here, and Abram is going to get. Oh, Abram gets ball at half? I thought for sure Drip got ball at half. I guess I was wrong on that one. Well, it's really good for Abram that he gets ball at half here. So he is up 10-7. How did Abram get ball at half, honestly? He must have got a stop on the first drive. I must have missed something. All right, so Abram going to go to double stack. Really don't see this being called. I guess no, and now he's going to check in a stack away flex. Again, this is the stack. You have this real nice quick throw to the left that you can kind of abuse that. He's called that formation twice, and there's really been nothing there. Able to hit a speed out late, kind of a broken play. Again, I want to highlight, that's the biggest play Abram's gotten pretty much all game. That was a broken play where he just kind of made something happen. Could have gone either way. Those broken plays, there's not a whole lot you can do about that other than send more pressure. But it's the style in which he plays defense. Drip plays defense. It really limits the big plays. And I just think that's such an underrated, big picture tip for how defense is to be played in the switch stick era. I think it is very much so a bend but don't break, a little bit of pressure, but we're going to contain you, get you down in the red zone where it's a lot harder to score in this year's game. So here, Abram going to go to pistol Y trips with a little halfback dive. And just going to score a touchdown. There you go. So it's 2 biggest plays of the game. Think about this. It's been a run. It's been a broken play. Kind of a massive takeaway for me from watching this game and watching this entire tournament has been you don't have to like kill yourself to get a stop on defense. The idea of red zone stops, the idea of like good run defense, fundamentals, right? Right there, we saw an example of bad run defense. Bad wasn't able to stop the run, and Abram really just got a free. It was about as free of a drive as you could possibly ask for, right? A broken play that turns into a big gain, and then that right there. That was actually crazy. Abram tried to switch stick onto that, and good read by Drip, able to get a little step on him, able to get that ball, that wheel route over the switch stick. I think one of the plays there that Abram would love to have back. Motion out that running back. And you're going to see, here's that play again, that Y sail. Okay, so I wanted to also address this. So you see here, so he ran this play before, and this play was wide open because this was a hard flat, right? This is an adjustment that I don't think enough people are using, and I'm not sure exactly what he did here, but notice what happens. Look at this I think this is either a seam flat or a curl flat zone. He's going to send 4. I think it's a seam flat or a curl flat. Look at him carry this fade, and then watch what he also does. Look at this. He's also going to defend the speed out. Can you throw the speed out? You can. It's a tight window, but that's a seam flat. I'm almost positive, or a curl flat. But anywho, you see that, and then Drip kind of having to playmaker around, ends up throwing it away, and now you catch him into a 2nd and 20. So really good defense by Abram. I don't think he's baseliner because I think he's manually backing these guys off. And from the slot corners movement, that would tell me I don't think he's base aligning in this defense. And he can individually back these guys off. Here's that deep speed out. Abram tries to switch stick it. The problem is, and this is what I was trying to get at, this is why this is such a good route combo. So you've got a streak, you've got a drag, you've got a post, and you've got a flat. And then on this left side, you have a speed out. So Abram is going to switch stick here. Okay, now he's here. What he wants to do is he wants to go guard this post. Problem is he knows that Drip's got a speed out right here. So watch, he switches here and he takes this away. So that's dead. But look what happens. All of that creates an absolute massive amount of space underneath for this drag route in the midst of the switch stick era. It's a super good combo using those speed outs, because when you switch stick to a speed out, it's very difficult to guard anything else on the play. Just the way the game works, it's you're all the way across the field. It's hard to get back to the middle of the field, and so because again, when you're switch sticking, guys, this is all happening in a couple seconds. So streak corner, and then look at that. So you see there, that was actually a really good switch stick. I'll say it. Drip ran that play way too much for how bad or for how little it actually worked. That's an example. So like we just talked about an example of like a good route combo. I personally think if we just look at this, this is kind of a bad route combo. It's too easy to defend. One of the most basic trips defenses is going to play decent against this. You do get a man up here, which you don't see that a ton, but this table route gets easily guarded. This corner gets guarded. The inside quarter's taking this. So look what Abram was able to do. He could switch stick right here and rob this post, right? Here, he didn't even have to. He's getting enough pressure. But Drip is going to throw this. Notice Abram's going to switch stick right on it. This could have been an interception as well. I just didn't think that was one of Drip's better route combos, and he went to that a lot. He went to that play a ton. Another 4th and 6, another big down in this game. And we're going to see what Abram is able to do defensively here. Looks like Drip's setting up Y sail again in another critical down and distance. He's going to go double streaks. This time, take a look at what he's doing. This is a very underrated. Okay, he's going to change it up a little bit. Never mind. Okay, so he's going to have a fade, a running back streak. So fade, this little outside step that the fade takes is going to pull the flat zone. He's got a zig. He's got a speed out, a slant. A ton of action over there. And actually great defense from Abram to get the stop here. Abram sells out for the zig. You see there, one of the things that's interesting about Abram was when he switched it, he bites really hard on it. And so, Drip just didn't see it well. I think he thought he was going to have that zig, and he just didn't. The out route standing wide open for a touchdown. Abram really overcommitted to the zig route because it is such a powerful route combo. Ended up paying off for him. And now we're going to see Abram back on offense. And again, having to take the underneath, right? Having to take the underneath. 17-7. And this is where Drip, game could get away from you here. It's a critical drive for Drip defensively. And the game can certainly get away from him. All right, so kind of a unique formation, the box formation, little inside zone from Abram. Abram also already going to start to kind of try to work the clock a little bit. Really, Abram would love to have 7 because 7 would put him up by 3 possessions. If he gets 3, he really doesn't. I mean, it's 2 touchdowns, I guess, but it's not a huge thing. Notice how many times this is a motion out, speed out, and then a backside zig, or I mean, it's just almost every single time. That time he gets screamed at, and it's going to bring up a critical 3rd down and 8. I will tell you what's really interesting is you watch this game. He's not changing the coverage very much at all. It's cover 4 hard flat, and it was cover 4 hard flat against Drini. Here you see just a little slight change, but check out what Drip is able to do. So what did Drip run on this? He ran out route, he ran zig, and then he ran like a little streak, right? That was kind of the general idea of what he did. Abram motions running back out. He's got a drag, a wheel, and then he's got a streak and a speed out. So what is Drip able to do? He's over here. He's able to defend pretty easily. This is just a very easy switch stick for him. There's nothing else really threatening him. Abram missed a wide open player here. This is what I also talk about. I've tried to talk about this a lot, this idea of post-snap reads, and also this idea of when you're putting routes on the field. I think one of the things that's really important to do is put routes on the field and read them in order of when they're actually going to be able to be thrown. So this little snap throw wheel is really good when they're not hard flatting, but guess what? Drip had been hard flatting pretty much every time. So here, what Abram is expecting is he's expecting cover 2. So he's reading this guy. He sees that this guy goes on a vert hook. And so he basically just assumes that this is a cloud flat, and he gets off of this read too fast. So watch what happens here off the snap. I mean, this is interesting. So where are your eyes here? I would think, right, if I'm Abram, my eyes would be over here, right? But the problem is this tells me it's probably a cover 2. I think this is the problem with a lot of the ways that people teach reading progressions, because the problem is you're not actually reading the space. You're reading this defender, and this defender lies to you about the coverage because it ends up being cover 4 with just a vert hook here. And so I just think Abram got off of this read. Look at how open. That's just free. And the thing is covered, right? There's nothing else. There's no other option. And so I just think he gets off of this a little too quickly. And then if you're here at this point, and it's 3rd and 8, so you don't have to force anything. This is really the only throw that's possible. So as I'm looking out here, it really is just perfect timing by Drip to be able to click on, immediately bite down on the speed out, and take it away. And it's just one of those plays, man. It's one of those plays, probably the play of the game for Drip, able to get that big stop, kind of what I had been talking about. And he's actually going to get out of there and go for about, 40 yards on a return. One of the things I've been talking about, though, is Drip now has the field goal that he held him to in the red zone, and he also has the flat-out switch stick interception. And to be honest, if Drip had scored that field goal, we're in a really different game. And 17-10, Drip's ball potentially going down to tie it. There again, just a simple check down from Drip. Abram's not playing bad defense. I am really surprised. We haven't really talked about it a ton. His blitz has not been very good. Drip has had a ton of time in the pocket to be able to do really whatever he wants. Just sit back, shoot fish in a barrel. really hasn't had a huge threat of pressure all game, which I know we're going to see some more as the game goes on here, but just kind of something to kind of keep an eye on here. Goes to that Judd touch pass. Abram shoot it. Abram has a shoot for it. 3rd and 3. Also, we're got a little bit of a look at the clock here. You know, Drip really needs a touch. He needs to score here. Haven't seen this combo out of motion angle. Able to hit that out route. Real nice read. That's a tight throw to be able to make, but it is open. And Drip going to go on to balanced. And it looks like trips tight end flex is his primary red zone formation. I do think a pass here. No, he's going to. Okay, this is actually key. So this is super, super bad by Drip. So number one, you took way too long to call your play. You took way too long to audible. And now look, we're 7 seconds. This is a little bit just the MCS inexperience, I would assume. Now he audibles. You're in a game. I don't know for how much money this is, but it's for a lot of money. I know it's for multiple thousands of dollars. I want to say it's for $20,000. But what happens here is he puts himself in a position where he has to call a timeout. Does he have to call a timeout? I actually think he puts himself in a really bad position. I would probably rather take the delay than call a second half timeout. You never want to lose these second half timeouts. Also, by the way, he's losing by 2 possessions to Abram. This is a massive error by Drip, and it really does like cost him. And you'll see that throughout this game. That timeout there was really, really, really bad. It was really the mistake of the day for Drip. Had really nothing to do with scheme, had everything to do with game management. Kind of seriously just a super big mistake down the stretch, in my opinion, just because look, these second half timeouts are so valuable. And then for him to come out and run that play, you know, I mean, it's just like, why didn't you just call inside zone, run it, waste a play, get to the end of the quarter? It ends up happening anyway. You wasted a timeout for that. I just cannot explain to you how like bad of a decision that really was. And I think that just was a product of big stage, nerves, inexperience. I don't know, but you cannot make that mistake. That is a mistake. That one and the interception before half, those two are really, honestly, if you really look at this game, those 2 mistakes are really the difference in the game, because you would have a little bit more in the game management scenario if you have 3 timeouts versus 2, and then also the 3 points that you sacrificed at halftime really are playing a huge difference. Now you're 4th and goal. You know, now what do you do? You know, I mean, it's just I cannot even. I just really, really bad decision making. Anyway, 4th and goal, got to have it. Going to throw into 5 people, catch it. I thought that was a terrible sequence by Drip. Somehow able to walk away with 7 points. Better be thanking his lucky stars. I didn't think that was good at all by him. The fact that Abram had 3 players in the vicinity, wasn't able to play it. Just a shout out to how good zone coverage is in this game. I don't know that there's much more to say other than the fact that I think Drip got blessed with 7 there. And it's a good red zone play, but honestly, that was the only throw. He was under pressure. That's not even when you want to throw that route. Able to get a touchdown, but really, I don't think really deserved it, honestly. And anyway, so Abram, this is what I call a put-away drive from Abram. Abram's goal here is to score 7 and basically put the game on ice. Drip you're going to see he needs to stop. He needs to stop to put him in a position to be able to get back into kind of, again, that's why the 3 is so important. That's why the 3 before half would have been so important, because it's 17-17, a lot different ball game than 14-17, honestly. Anywho, doubles flex close, 3rd and 5. Again, you're going to see Drip kind of tighten up a little bit. I don't think you're going to see him sell out necessarily. I just think you're going to see really probably more of the same, because if Drip holds him to 3, Drip's still in a good position to be able to go win the game. So there, Abram's scrambling around. Again, you're seeing just the really good switch stick from Drip, able to get him into a 4th down situation. Honestly, Abram's playing kind of interesting offensively. It's not his best game, But I do think you're seeing the power of that bend but don't break with a little bit of pressure and good switch stick. He threw that again. I can't believe he threw that again. One of the things that Abram is expecting, I would assume, is he's expecting at some point for Drip to run cover 2. He never did. He stayed cover 4 the whole game. Really, pretty much hard flat here. This little pocket is open. This has been a throw that people make for a long time. I don't know what it is about this throw. He has not been able to make it all game. He tries to throw it again here. These all have mid-zone KO, by the way, so it's not like an easy throw. The fact that it's 4th and 5, I feel like he didn't really give himself a great route combo for what Drip had been doing. I think Abram was expecting Drip to change it up and get into a cover 2 or something. Anyway, Drip ends up playing good defense. He ends up manually picking it with the switch stick. And that is his second, guys. That is his second switch stick interception of the game against one of the best offensive players in the world. This is Drip's first live event, and you're seeing the power of the cover 4, the bend but don't break, the keep everything in front. What that does mentally to somebody like Abram, who's used to throwing explosive big plays down the field, when you make them work and you have a good switch stick behind it, it works. This is a really cool play by Drip. So he'd been running jet touch pass in these kind of situations all game. He changes this up slightly. One of the things you might not know is with Master Tactician, it has conductor built into the ability. When you audible to a play like fake jet sweep this year, you could do 2 hot routes really fast. So he's going to fake this throw, and then he's just going to streak this guy. He's got to streak him as soon as he audibles to this, but he audibles to it, he streaks him. Abram is assuming that this is jet touch pass. It looks like Abram literally ran commit, and then look at this. Look at that. Everything's open here. Everything's open. Free touchdown for Drip. Absolutely free touchdown from Drip. Able to get 7. And he's talking to Abram a little bit. One of the things he's saying in the broadcast is he's saying, I want you to walk me down. What he means by that is he knows that Abram is planning to make this the last drive of the game. And Drip trusts his defense. He wants his defense on the field. He feels like he has the bag for what Abram is doing. Abram played pretty bad this game up to this point. We need to see, is Abram able to recover from what otherwise has been a pretty bad game offensively, or is Drip's strategy of bend but don't break with pressure able to carry him here? And ultimately, guys, again, I just wanted to point out the timeout, the fact that Drip only has 2 timeouts, and then the other fact that what if that field goal from half, if it was 24-17, it would be a very different situation because Abram really wouldn't be in a position to win the game. Okay, so it's just a very different deal. So 2nd and 2, you're going to see pretty much the same stuff. Look, cover 4 every single time. Every single time. There are Drips. That's actually why I was talking about instead of switch sticking to the play side safety, if you switch to the backside safety, you got a better shot. And then you saw why right there. Abram able to just kind of sneak that in. But I mean, you're seeing it. It's cover 4 hard flat every time. Every single time, guys. Every single time it's cover 4 hard flat. He's got the best offensive player in the world with 17 points, 2 interceptions. At the end of the day, you got to give credit to his defense. Ultimately, Abram, I don't think played great this game, but it's pretty much been cover 4 hard flat. A little mix in of vert hooks, of maybe a man up here and there, but it's pretty much been cover 4 hard flat the entire way down the field. And what has made the difference is the pressure and the switch stick, the making them take their underneath again and again and again. Here, Abram goes to RPO read flat, David T's specialty. Not able to get really anything out of that. Good switch stick by Drip to be able to get out there and play the bubble. Second and 10. And look at this again. There's that cover 4, switch stick, good scramble from Abram. And Abram just kind of finding a way this drive, honestly. Not pretty, but the ball is moving. Going to go to Y off trips again, this time an inside zone. One of the other things I did want to quickly mention, one of Abram's touchdowns, the drive out of half, was a broken play that went for about 40 yards and a 30-yard run. Okay? When Abram, not bad on him, just saying he's, make the offense a little easier. And that was the adjust. Look at this. Abram is expecting Drip to sell out. Now, why would Drip sell out here? One of the reasons why is a little bit of game management. I actually really think Drip handled this really well, because what he goes to is a coverage. He's going to go to a lot more underneath coverage. So you see here, he's going to go to that cover 2. And so he's going to give that up. Why would he give that up? Well, based off the situation, 2 minutes and 14 seconds, Drip wants to get the ball back. So if he could almost play aggressive and either get a stop or Abram ends up scoring, that's the goal. So take a look at the coverage here. Cover 2, hard flat. Hard flats here, trying to take this away. There's the vert hook. There's the cross man on the running back. You get a really aggressive defense. And guess what's wide open? That corner route's going to be wide open. Drip ends up getting just enough pressure from Julius Peppers, by far the best defensive tackle in the game, and brings up a 3rd and 8 situation. So again, you're seeing, I really think he played really decent defense and kind of put the blueprint of, like, if you're going to get stops in this year's Madden, this is one of the ways in which you can do it. It's this idea of just really playing bend but don't break, picking your spots. That I think he's doing a really good job of defensively. I mean, this is Abram. He does get a knockout on that curl. That's a 4th and 8. See how tough this is? Now, again, notice, this is what I was talking about. This is a gotta have it down. I don't know who's cross-manned on him. I don't know. But he flies to him. I don't know. Drip's getting more aggressive. You're seeing more cross-man. You're seeing more, I'm going to try to jump what you're doing. Right? It's that idea of he's been sponging Abram all game. He's been consuming this information, learning Abram's tendencies, learning the routes, learning the things he wants to do. And then in this critical situation, he's trying to take it away. So just kind of a different style of defense, really, than we've seen before. Anywho, back in that cover 4. Oh, no, he got him. That sucks. He got him. So right here, and I did pick Abram to win this game, but Drip does go cover 2. Now, again, this is honestly good for Drip. But how different of a situation are we in if it's 24-24 versus 24-21? How different of a situation are we in if it is 24-24 instead of 24-21? It goes to show that these end-of-half scenarios, this clock management, limiting turnovers and mistakes, all those things at the highest level make the biggest difference in the game. And so you see here, Drip, I don't think it's really a mistake. He returned it. I think he had to, honestly. I don't know if I think he had to. Nick Rosesko on the broadcast said something to the extent of, like, why would you return that? But I don't think Drip's really worried about the clock here. I think this is basically just a money drive. Now, right here, look what Abram does. This is kind of strategic. Abram's going to switch stick off this. Ultimately, I don't know why. I feel like he gave him a touch. I don't think he gave him a touchdown. I think he just messed up and he's trying to switch over here even though he has a defender. I feel like it was just a mistake at the end of the day. Or he truly is trying to give him a touchdown so he can get ball back. But Drip scores in one play. This is where Drip actually says, walk me down. I want my defense on the field. I think I can stop you. Again, just want to stress how significant the field goal at the end of the half has just completely changed this game. If it is 31-24, it is such a different game than it being 28-24. Abram is in position to go win the game. If it was 31-24, Abram was fighting just to tie the game. Minute 51. Another thing is, check out Drip's timeouts. He not only has one. He only has one ability to be able to stop the clock. End of game scenarios, you need those 3 timeouts. If you watch the best teams in the NFL, the Kansas City Chiefs, back when Belichick was with the Patriots, some of the best teams over generations, They always have those timeouts in the second half. They're so, so important. And I think Drip, not having that really hurts him here. Great switch stick from Drip. There's that smash return play from Abram. And the thing here is, too, Abram can, to a degree, clock himself out. The way that Drip is playing defense is not giving up a lot of sideline stuff. It's not giving up a lot of big plays. It's a lot of check down stuff in the middle of the field where you're catch tackling, like right there, boom, and Abram very wisely gets out of bounds. Abram is in a position where he could actually clock himself out of this game if he's not careful, just based on the way that Drip is playing defense, what Drip is choosing to give him versus what Drip is taking away consistently. Here's that auto motion play again, trying to pop cover 2 on the left side. This time Drip doesn't fall for it. You get the outside quarter, you get a nice switch stick, and Abram honestly catches it a little bit lucky, because what happens in this game is when two mid-zone KO players run into one another, they run into one another together and hit the gut at the same time. Oftentimes he's able to catch that ball. So again, you see here's cover 4 again, switch stick right on it, almost picked it off, almost lurked it. I mean, when I tell you that this is so close to being Drip's game, it blows me away. And granted, Abram after this game, he said, I played one of my worst games of the year, which could be true. I don't think he's playing great by any means. His body language this doesn't seem right. I don't know why that is the case, but normally you see him a lot better, man. He just normally plays a lot better than this. So, but I do think you got to give Drip a little bit of credit here. I mean, he is right there. He's on every single play. He's switch sticking all over the field. Literally all over the field. And he is right in the vicinity every single time. Every single throw has been catch, get tackled, catch, get tackled every single time. So anyway, I just, Abram's down here, but it's not been easy. It's not been pretty. It's been tight windows again and again and again. Got him again. There's that smash return. There's a sack. Now we get a timeout. That's what I was saying about the fact that Abram 100% can clock himself out of this game. And Drip is going to do something that I'm really surprised that he does. He's got him on 2nd and 19. He's beat Drini. He's beat Velas. Drini upset Henry, right? Like all of these, like all of the battle, all the stuff that he's gone through to get here. And on a 2nd and 19, 30 seconds, ball to 36, if he just keeps him from out of the end zone, he wins the game. He gives up a speed out. This is one of the reasons why you would ever go to that formation in the first place. Now, granted, not all is lost. He gives him the ball about the 15-yard line, but it's the fact that he caught it and got out of bounds. Now you're going to get another speed out. And Drip's right there, by the way. You see right here. He's trying to get it and break on it. And he's just a step too slow. Abram hits him. I think he kind of quick hiked him, got him out of position. Derwin James is animating for an interception, by the way. 2 speed outs back to back. 2 speed outs. Again, I talked about that in the beginning of the video. 10 to 15 yard speed outs are really difficult to switch stick. They just are hard switch sticks to make, especially when that speed out is going to the wide side of the field. There's a lot more space for that route to be able to get itself open. It's a hard route to switch stick. Ultimately, Abram gets a 1st and goal with about 20 seconds left. One of the little things here is Drip doesn't have any timeouts. If Drip had 3 timeouts, he would be able to call timeouts to be able to put himself in position to get the ball back. Another factor, if Drip had 3 timeouts and this was 31-24, then when Drip gets the ball back, he has the chance to go get a 3 and end this game. Neither one of those things are the case. Goal line opportunity for Abram in complete control of the clock. I think just some very, very little things, and these are the little things you can't get away with when you play the number 3 player in the world. Abram throws quick, tried to just pop one in there. Didn't, I don't know why he did that, but kind of a safe throw, I guess. Got a little red zone play here out of this wing formation. Roll out with RG3. Gonna be able to get in there. 15 seconds. Now, again, picture the same exact situation if Drip has 3 timeouts. The same exact situation if Drip has 3 timeouts. It's a lot different. It's played a lot different. And also the same exact situation if Drip has 3 timeouts and it's 31-31 as opposed to 28-31. I think this game honestly plays out a little differently if those couple of things were different. That being said, here's Drip's big opportunity. Going to go to 5 wide here. Got that 15 speed out to the left. Pretty deep speed out. It's got a tight end corner. Nothing over the middle of the field, which is kind of surprising because he can use the whole field here. He actually might have him over the top. Didn't get enough bend on the ball. And Abram is able to get out of there with a win. And he was in an absolute battle with SEO Drip. Honestly, shout out to SEO Drip. I feel like there's a lot of things to be learned in this game. I thought this was one of the better games of the first round. Abram ends up getting the W, but Drip definitely showed why he deserved to be there. LCQ champion, 14th seed, last chance, right, by the end of the skin of his teeth. And he almost upsets the number 3 player in the world. Guys, I want to thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to hit the like button down below. Check out some of the other film rooms on the channel. And if you're looking to take your Madden game to the next level, head over to the school community. That'll be linked in the description. That's where you can learn everything that I know about Madden and College Football 25. That link is down in the description.